I screwed up last night. I was on a date with my girlfriend, like I am every Wednesday, and I got home a little bit late. I think it was about 9:30 p.m. when I got home. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning to go to the gym, but for some reason, last night, I decide that it's a good idea to go on my phone and scroll a bit of social media. And as I'm sure you've done many times before, scrolling on social media doesn't just last 5 minutes, and on that particular night, last night, I ended up wasting 2 hours. And every 30 minutes, I would look at the time and think, just 30 more minutes. I get 6 hours and 30 minutes of sleep if I stop in the next 15 minutes, so I can just do 15 more minutes. And I just kept doing that until it got to like 5 hours and 30 minutes. It was 11:30 at night, and I finally decided to go to bed. I knew that the next day was going to be difficult, and it was. I wake up this morning, and I just think, fuck, I messed up. I'm really tired. It's 5 a.m. I may as well just sleep until 6 a.m. I can set that 1 hour timer on my phone and it'll be like nothing ever happened. I could just start my work at 9 a.m. instead of 8 a.m. I can still go to the gym and it will all be okay. But something in me wanted me to still go. There was that part of me that has built everything I've got today. And it just told me, Brian, why don't you just try to sit up from your bed, first of all? So that's what I did. Why don't you try to go downstairs and just make yourself a coffee and see how you feel? So I get up out of bed. By the way, this took about 10 minutes of convincing myself to do. I get out of bed, go downstairs, make that coffee. I make it extra strong just because I know I'm going to have a hard gym session ahead of me. I come up, I drink it whilst I'm reading my book, and I start feeling better. I still can't be bothered to go to the gym, but I decide to get my bag ready. I get my bag ready, and I ended up leaving, going to the gym. And as soon as I got in the car, this kind of uncomfortable feeling of having to do something I didn't want to, it turned into a smile. I was proud of myself. And when I went to the gym, even though I was coping and I was saying, I'm not going to be able to train as hard, I'm probably going to miss some reps, but whatever, we'll go anyway, we'll see how it goes. None of that was the case. Because I was fired up, because I was proud of myself, I set PRs today. I didn't even have my pre-workout meal this morning, which is also something that my mind copes. If I don't have my pre-workout meal, I can't get my reps in. And I did. I felt really good afterwards. I wasn't always like this. I wasn't as good at convincing myself to go as I used to be. And many times I chose to press that snooze button. I chose to not do what I was supposed to do. And it's because your brain and my brain is extremely good at convincing you to be comfortable, because your brain, it knows you better than anybody else knows you, so it will use all these dirty little tactics to try and keep you, being comfortable. And for me, it used a really dirty trick this morning, because I've been with my girlfriend for 7 years now, right? And when I'm around her, we have this really secure, loving relationship. And as I was sitting up on this bed and debating whether I should go or not, it made me feel this comfortable feeling that I usually feel when I'm around her, my girlfriend. And it almost tried to convince me that if I go and if I become this disciplined individual, I'll lose this kind of soft side that comes out around my girlfriend, and I'll lose her in the process. Which is obviously bullshit. But the way it managed to think of that, imagine how clever it is. And your brain is doing the same thing to you. But guess what? I went and I felt fucking amazing afterwards. And because I went, I can now show up on this video passionate and way better than I would have if I felt like a bitch in the morning and I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I can show up for my family better. I can show up for the clients that rely on me to make money online better. And I can show up for my girlfriend better, so our relationship becomes better as a result. Nobody lost this morning except that side of me that wanted to keep me down. So keep this in mind next time you're putting off doing something. Nobody loses except that shitty side of you. Don't let that crap side of you convince you that it's right, because that's the side of you that's made you depressed. That's the side of you that's got you stuck in this shitty 9-to-5 that you hate, and you've been there for years. That's all because of that side of you that wants to keep you comfortable. And it's funny because when we convince ourselves to be comfortable, we're not even being selfish. That side, it doesn't want good for you. It's self-destructive. It's been fucking you over this whole time, even though it had you convinced that you were doing the right thing. Now that I've gone, even though it tried to convince me that my relationship with my girlfriend would somehow be worse, now I can show up for her and be better for her because I'm this disciplined individual. The price of freedom from the 9-to-5 and jobs in general is discipline. I'm not saying work 12 hours. I'm saying work when it's time to work. Wake up when it's time to wake up, and train when it's time to train. Don't let it convince you to stay comfortable. You're watching this video because you want to escape the 9-to-5 rat race. You don't want a job anymore and you want financial freedom. And you've had a father figure to tell you what to do your entire life. When there's no father figure to tell you what to do, you need to become that father figure yourself. Why are you okay with having anybody above you? I understand for normal people, right? They are okay with having managers and bosses and whatever, but you're watching this video because you want your freedom and you don't want one. So you have to become the leader for yourself. You have to become your own father figure. You have to detest having anybody above you, anybody telling you what to do, because that's what led me into this path that I'm on right now. You need to be your own leader. Leave it to the rest of the population. They're okay with their current path, but you're not. You need to stray away from them. You have an empire to build. Every day is a chance to prove to yourself who you are. If I gave in this morning and decided to sleep an extra hour, that's not who I want to be. And I would have proved that what I did last night, stayed on my phone for a little bit too long, that wasn't just a hiccup. But now, because I still stuck to my process this morning, I know who I am. I know that I'm still the disciplined Brian that I want to be. When you choose this path, that inner version of you that wants to hold you down will protest against you every single day. And when it turns up, which it will, you just have to put the shoes on. You just have to make that morning coffee and get out of bed and just feel a little bit cold. Take it one step at a time. Growing up, I was quite introverted. I would kind of just live in my own head. I didn't really let many people into Brian's world. I was also, when I would enter conflict, I would do this disgusting thing of almost trying to make friends and laugh off the fact that someone just tried to hurt me. Now, that person isn't necessarily the type of person that, the person I used to be wasn't necessarily the type of person that can run a successful business, but you don't have to kill that version of you. You don't have to get rid of those traits. All you have to do is evolve, because that introvertedness, it's still there, even though tomorrow I literally have 6 calls with clients. That introvertedness helps me focus when it's time to focus, and that cowardice that I used to have has now evolved into courage. I've said in the past that to become a successful person, you have to kill that old version of you, but I think the correct word to use is more of an evolve that old version of you, because those traits, they still stay, but they evolve into something better. To work with me one-to-one, I will change your life and you will start making money on the internet and regain your freedom. Click the link in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.